Muathe, Muathe.com with the Ultimate Muathe Breakout Part 1. Now guys, I've been forced to re-upload this video on YouTube. As you can see on the playlist, for some reason this video has been deleted. I don't know why YouTube did that, so I just noticed this just now. This video has been, this is middle of 2015, and this video has been up for about 2 years, so now they deleted that. If you click on it, you see this is what you get. This video has been removed as a violation of, again, a spam, scans, and commercially deceptive, and then it moves on to the next video on the playlist. So I'm forced to re-upload it, and as you can see here, snapshot of the fact that the video was initially uploaded October 12, 2013. It ran through June 19th before they removed it, I'm assuming, and had a view of about 8,000 and about, let's see, I think about 26 likes. There you go. So about 27 likes and 3 dislikes, which is fine. So anyway, I have to re-upload this. Let's go to the video. Re-uploaded. Eric Muathe. Hope you enjoyed. This is a very powerful method. This is Eric Muathe. Today I wanted to discuss how investors can time explosive stocks. Now I know most of us are always on the lookout for the next big thing in terms of explosive stocks, especially when the market is trending higher. There's nothing as great as owning the next superstar stock when it's just about to begin, or even as it's beginning another leg up. Now this is not always easy. The purpose of this video is to show you the principles that definitely work. I know they work because I've used them for so many years, and I'm going to show you a ton of charts that are going to be explaining and furthermore clarifying this idea that potential explosive stocks tend to have already shown their potential before they move again, and then they move again. So the idea is, when do you time these powerful moving stocks in any market situation? Now I'm gonna be mostly considering the monthly charts, which is an area I understand that most investors do not use the monthly charts, but I guarantee you, once you start appreciating the importance of monthly charts, then lots of things that probably were not clear as to why some stocks were doing great when other stocks were just being, moving slightly to the upside when other stocks were explosive. The monthly charts explain why this is the case, especially if you use the RSI and the MACD. So this method utilizes only 2 indicators. So before I go into that, just let me make clear 2 indicators. All right, and the first one is the RSI, of course, very important, and the next one is the MACD. Only 2 indicators. Now, most of the examples I have for you, and I have lots of examples in this because I've had this principle which I call the Ultimate Muathe Breakout. I've been teaching this over the last 5 years, so I have charts going back. In fact, when I initially wrote the blog post, or when I initially wrote the article for subscribers, I remember it's been many years back, and I had lots of examples. Even years down the road now, when I look back, the principles have never changed. If anything, they are now reinforced. So let's begin here. There are only 3.5 instances that a stock is a buy as seen from a monthly chart, especially a 3-year monthly chart. Now this is very important. So there are 3.5 instances, and I'll explain what I mean. One is you want your RSI to make a 3-year high. This is very important. You want your RSI on the monthly chart to move to 3-year highs. That's one requirement. Okay, another requirement, you don't have to have all of this, but one other requirement that can lead to very powerful moves is when the RSI moves above 69.10. When the RSI moves above 69.10, you get an explosive thrust in a stock. One of the great other uses of this method is whenever the RSI on a monthly chart makes an all-time high. Please make note for this. An all-time high on the monthly RSI is very, very powerful. This one is super powerful. Okay, now 3.5. Why would anybody say it's 3.5 times? Well, 3.5 because we go back to point number 2. When a stock breaks out while already trading above 69.10, you have to be very careful that there's another explosive move about to take place. So 3.5, this 3.5 is just because it is really going back to point number 2. So you already have a stock trading with the RSI above 69.10, and if it breaks out on the weekly chart, that is another move to the upside that could be very successful. So why don't I go and try and explain this another way? So of course you have your RSI lines here, and then this is your 50 level. So 50 there. Oh, let me put that there. So 50 RSI level, and then this is 69.10, and I have videos explaining why that is 69.10 and not 70, and this is 30.90. Okay, so what I'm talking about is the first requirement is at the very least, you want your RSI to be making a 3-year high on the monthly. This is critical. At least a 3-year high on the monthly. This is a monthly chart we are looking at. So when the RSI moves above 3-year highs, that is a time to take note of what the stock is doing. So that's one way to look at that. The other requirement is, so we have again okay, so you got 69.10. So when the stock blasts above this 69.10, you want to take note, because the stock could be showing you how powerful it is, and the stock could potentially be on an explosive run. Watch this move on the monthly above 69.10. So that's what I mean by point number 2 there. Let's go again and take a look at the other one. So when the RSI makes an all-time high, and this one is very simple. So at the RSI over many years, and at some point it makes an all-time high on the monthly RSI. That is a super powerful indication of momentum. All-time high breakout on the monthly on the RSI is super powerful. You have to watch that. Okay, so let's go to point 3.5. Point 3.5 is quickly here when you have that. Alright, so and this is a stock already trading above 69.10, and it does this over many months. So stock's been trading in this general area above 69. So trading in this general area above 69.10. If the stock were to break out again while already above this level here, you want to be very careful to make note of the breakout, because this could suggest that there is another unbelievable explosive move about to take place. So already above 69.10, looking to break out is another very powerful indication of momentum if you are seeking to own explosive stocks. Now, the other requirement is when all these things are happening, the previous points, you want, very important here, while all these points are taking place, let me bring this back here. So while all these points that I'm discussing here are taking place, there's one more requirement: confirmation. How do you know that there's confirmation that this is a strong move? The one confirmation is the MACD. MACD. Okay, and I use two MACD settings. So not just one MACD setting, and this is absolute settings. Two MACD settings. Most people will use just one MACD settings. I'm here to tell you, if you want to time this correctly, one of the two MACD settings has to be making at least a 3-year high. Does that make sense? Maybe not, but I'm going to try and explain this. So hold on a second, I'll explain what I mean. In the current market, one of the most, in fact, the highest percentage gainer this year in terms of large cap stocks is Tesla. Now you'll notice, if you are using my principles that I'm teaching you here, is notice where the stock made an all-time high on the RSI right there. Okay, the stock would break out again above 69, so that was the initial entry point. The breakout to all-time highs on the RSI on the monthly, this being a monthly chart, so right there, your first entry point, monthly breakout. These principles have never changed over the last 30 years as far as my research is concerned. Entry point there, a move above RSI, and above 69.10, another entry point. Now notice the breakout took the stock from about $39 all the way to about just above 194 in about 6 months. Okay, but what I'm talking about here is, while all this is taking place, which is an absolute powerful minimum requirement, is I was trying to explain the MACDs. Confirmation comes from the MACDs, and I talked about two MACD settings. One of the MACD setting is 493. The other MACD is just a regular MACD of 12, 26, and 9. These ones have to also be making at least a 3-year high. At the very least, a 3-year high. If you want powerful movement, you have to insist on all-time highs on the MACD. One of these two MACD settings has to be making at least a 3-year high. At the best, you want an all-time high. Just like there was an all-time high here, hence the stock had a powerful move. All-time high right there. So confirmation that the RSI is telling you something powerful is taking place comes from the MACD, and the MACD has two settings that you have to use. One of them, if one of them is not giving you a buy signal, at least one of the other one should give you a buy signal. That is very important. One of them should confirm that the RSI is blasting out of a range and the stock's price is going to follow through. Now, I have to explain something here. Even though I use 493 as the first setting, and then the regular setting, which is default on most charts, of 12, 26, and 9 on the MACD, I'm here to tell you I only use this just because I've used this for many years, but I do know something for a fact. And it is the fact that if you take a look at the Fibonacci numbers, so where we begin with 0, 0, 1, 1, I think this 0 should not be here, but anyway, 2, 3, 5, we go 8, we go 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, and 144. I know this offhand. Alright, these are the Fibonacci numbers. Now scratch this here. It should not be there. It's 0, 1, 1, and then 2. What I know for a fact is this MACD settings of 493, which is just something I used from experimentation, but I've come to realize that they represent this MACD set, this Fibonacci numbers here. The actual MACD setting, if you want to do it the right way, is to try and capture the natural rhythm of the universe by using 583 instead of 493. Does that make sense? So instead of these numbers, use these numbers here. And then the MACD, which is what was promoted by the discoverer of this MACD indicator, he used 12, 26, and 9. I can assure you that the actual number should be right there, 8, 13, and 21. But needless to say, you can use either. You can either use the one that I use here of 9493 or the 1226.9, which is, you know, the default, or you can use 583 for your earlier MACD signal, or you can use 13, 21, and 8 as the best, because I think this captures the Fibonacci numbers and it captures the rhythm of the universe. So having said that, this is very important that we understand that this is how this works. All these requirements, 3-year high, it needs confirmation on the MACDs making at least a 3-year high. This needs a confirmation of the MACD making at least a 3-year high. This needs a confirmation that the MACD is trading at least 3-year highs, and so is this setting. So one of the two MACD settings has to confirm these settings here if you are to find explosive stocks. So now we are gonna go straight to the charts, and I told you I have a lot of charts, so this video might be broken in many parts, or I might make one gigantic video which you might have to digest over time. But the chart examples are there for a reason. They're there for you to confirm in your own mind that what I'm talking about here is absolutely powerful and is gonna make a difference in the way you look at stocks. So let's go to the live or to the saved examples.